Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We're here for some more FACEIT action. We're going to be, obviously, joined in the not too distant future by the one and only Hunter from 99 Divine LAN qualified success. But we're both going to be here to be watching the Gladiators versus ENCE match, and we can go straight into the map draft now. So ENCE on the left hand side going to be picking 1, 3, 5, and obviously Gaimin Gladiators is going to get 2 and 4. So we'll get the bans here from everyone. Busan going to be banned initially from ENCE, then Gladiators turn to ban in response. I think expectations here are that ENCE are still very much the top dog. I think even though we didn't see a lot of the EMEA teams play each other, especially ENCE didn't really get to play anyone else from their region at the Esports World Cup, I think everyone still regards ENCE as probably like top 2 with SSG. So really the team to beat. And while Gaimin Gladiators have had 2 games pretty close to ENCE historically, I think both 3-2s their last 2 games. So there's a chance here, but I think ENCE, especially post Esports World Cup, they're on a high, right? They're a team on the up. I think the addition of Wimone has added a lot to them. Obviously now we are back online. Chase is able to play again, so they get that aspect unlocked. We've talked a lot, if you've seen some of the other FACEIT games, about it being potentially a Winston and a Brig quite heavy meta, and maybe Tuesday's patch hasn't really changed that all that much. But obviously having someone like Chase means that's a pretty good player to have in such a situation. Also, we're going to get to see Calyx play, taking up the role of Massa, very much kind of like a like-for-like swap, that one. As we'll get Gladiators now banning their map. I imagine the main theme from this ban will be Gaimin Gladiators trying to shift it away from dive, potentially, and ENCE maybe trying to shift it towards dive. So we'll wait and see exactly what we get. Iconworld is a ban from Gladiators, so I don't expect them to go to Paricio, but obviously they get to pick the map, so they can just ban something else out. We'll see what ENCE choose to do. Maybe King's Row would be the most reasonable for them to ban. Waiting to see how teams really adapt Tunis meta and what they try and what they've changed, if anything. Really, I think a lot of what people were playing in terms of the Winston and a Brig still all viable. Diva's been nerfed a little. Does it really push her out of the meta? We'll have to wait and see. Gaimin Gladiators, on the other hand, very much a team that have played a whole lot of like Diva, Kirilucio type comps. We did see him flexing over to an Ana Zen Diva quite a lot into some of the Winston dives, so we'll have to see if that comes into play. There's obviously a chance we saw him play it on New Queen Street against SSG. We saw him play it also on Blizzard World with a classic FD God falling off the map situation. I believe those are the rustlings of an Australian man.
Yeah, I'm rustling my way in. Yeah, they're doing the draft still, right?
Yep, we just got Colosseo ban from the Gladiators.
Oh god, have you been talking about the picks and bans? You've been thinking this out?
Kind of. My general theme is that Gaimin Gladiators probably want to go away from the dive maps, and ENCE probably fancy a dive now. Chasers survive the power cut.
Oh, Vess is in though, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if they actually get to confirm. They get to confirm the rosters again because they do the draft afterwards. So I don't really know what the initial finalized roster bit actually does, but you know, it's all automated anyway. Just trust the system, you know. Just click on the buttons it tells you to click on when it's your turn to click on them, and what could go wrong?
Yeah, no, I mean, what could go wrong? Maybe the invite doesn't come out.
Wait, did you get responded to? Are you
yeah, I got responded to. I got responded to. I should be in. Why does FD God have this like ultra premium backing on his FACEIT profile? Has he like?
Yoham has it as well, so they seem, at least on the surface, Gladiators more invested in the FACEIT League.
Yeah, they're aesthetically invested in the product, but
all right, here we go. So Samoa, Kings Row, New Queen Street, New Junk City, Dorado.
Samoa, Kings, New Queen, New Junk, Dorado. So there's a map 5 dive map, there's a map 2 dive map, there's a map 1 half dive map, and that's it. The rest is rush. And Vess is in on map 1.
Vess in for Samoa, so I don't know what they do actually. I mean, they might still just dive, right? You dive on Samoa, maybe not Volcano, but you could dive in a few places.
Does dive just mean playing D.Va and Lucio Kiri? Is that what that means?
I guess it can kind of. When I say dive, I kind of mean like an Anna Brig version, really. That's like what I have in my head.
Do people? I still haven't seen the full extent of what people are getting stuck into, so I think it's like almost nonsensical for me to try to make any prediction. But yeah, I mean, like Anna Brig D.Va, is that a real thing?
Yeah, we saw ENCE do it a little bit at the Esports World Cup.
I wasn't there.
Mainly on Ilios.
Yeah. No, I wasn't there for
You
that.
were busy trying to take down Twisted Minds at the time, I think.
Yeah, no, we were fighting tooth and nail for that one. Is that Tread as Nico?
No. Presumably.
Tread's at the top. No, Tread.
Oh, it's
who's the other DPS on the team?
It's Naga.
Oh.
I think he's got in trouble with his name or something. I don't really know the law, but he's not allowed his name. So he's under a different name every day so far, or every game I've seen him in. He's shifted over to a new name, keeping it fresh.
Yeah. It's taken a long time to join. Like they're really trying to milk this free time. God, I can't believe you have fucking level 5 endorse. That's such a client thing to have.
What do you mean? That's just a nice guy. What's your endorsement level? 3? Yeah, you're an alright guy.
Like,
I'm a nice guy.
Getting anything above 3, you've got to be like a bit special, you know?
I just
5 is it's an indictment, I think.
It's not an indictment. In what sense?
It's definitely
It's literally the opposite. It's literally the opposite of an indictment is an endorsement. It's literally an endorsement.
I mean, you know, you raise a very valid point about the linguistics of the matter, but there is something deeper at play. There's something going on here.
Something deeper at play. Sometimes a good thing is just a good thing, Max. You're jaded. You're jaded and cynical towards the world. Sometimes a good thing's just a good thing.
I'm a realist, Xavier, and having a level 5 endorsement level is not a good thing. That's something reserved for Mercy. That's something reserved for Mercy players and Reinhardt players in their mid-30s that talk all game. So I don't think you're either of those things.
What about a Winston player in his mid-30s who talks all game but doesn't have his push to talk bound?
Oh, good grief! Is that you? Is that how you're level 5 endorse?
No, I actually never. I never talk in game because I've never bound it. It's never really came up during scrims, honestly.
Yeah, that's horrifying. Can we get one of the fucking ENCE tanks to show up to a match? Because it feels like a consistent theme that they just abstain on repeat. We've got it.
There we go.
Watch pot always boils, is my understanding. So that's what's happened here.
All right, starting on downtown.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see if it's more of this Anna Brigg stuff that you're trying to push a narrative of, or if it's just Lucio Kiri, you know?
Literally peddling it.
Has FD started like pushing this narrative that he's going to play a hero other than the
loose?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, he's been playing a fair amount of Zen. We saw him do it against SSG on New Queen Street. We saw him do it on Blizzard World, I think in OWCS. You know, some of the time he was falling off the map unprompted, but it can happen.
Yeah. Okay, so I see Lucio Kiri on the good guy's side, and I'm not seeing any Anna Brig here, so you can eat shit and die.
It's just not a downtown. Wait till we get to the beach. When we get to the beach, it'll all be different.
Yeah, I mean the beaches that's a different matter. Sky's on Anna as well.
Well, I'm half right.
They're playing Lucio Anna. Yeah, it's halfway there. It's better than nothing. I got some Kevin on Tracer. I think it could be something to watch. I don't know. Don't have a health bar bind anymore. That's always a good start. I think Ash Tracer's not the greatest thing, but it seemed pretty hard nowadays to play Marga into D.Va, to be honest. D.Va has a lot of Eden. Maybe the nerfs have changed that around.
Yeah, a half-second shift may be enough.
Yeah, I think pretty good comp read though from like ENCE early on, like having Lucio Honor, you know, maybe versus a dive matchup it'd be risky, but it's just incredibly fucking free versus what Peps is playing, like no flankers at all to pressure Sky. So yeah, Sky really just has to use his legs to be okay. Kai nearly getting run down there, but he makes it out. 1 second on the clock, and look how much like this guy's farming this fucking nano so quickly. Already 75%, but they're about to catch him. Like one more turn and they'll have closed the gap. There he goes.
They flipped the point in all of this as well, and like it was kind of quite similar. Like Gaimin Gladiators was just on the hunt, right? Literally chased them all the way around the map, eventually get their man, but they're going to concede a lot of point, and it's maybe just going to be like a slow loss now for ENCE.
Yeah, no. As soon as Sky is dead, it's like impossible to sustain. You know, you're relying on Kevin and Vestola doing like absolute god's work in terms of point ping pong. But I don't know, it's like a really hard job for Sky. If they're playing until the first nano, then there's like almost no way that they win. They need to convert better off nades, and that didn't happen. Like the first nade was like rubbish and early.
It was I don't know, they got like the early Suzu out, so I don't know, if they got Sky away, maybe they get away with it, they get to the second nade. I feel like the rotations are a little tricky on this map, because every time you rotate around the outside, you like break line of sight to everything.
There's just only so far he can run. Like they were closing the gap like pretty effectively, so it was like he was very close to getting away, but I mean, you know, Naga's pretty good with the old rockets. Now they've got like a nano turn, but again, Sky has to self-nade, and like needing to do that, I mean, that's never ideal versus a comp like this. You really need that to force out Suzu, something like that. Now, there's so much spam coming out from Naga, actually. And Nano Diva, but probably not going to get anything done with that. Just mirrored ults. Fucked up another nade. It would actually... It would have killed Sky to do something. Kevin's good for it, at least.
Yeah, Bob thrown straight onto the Kitsune here, so yeah, nothing for that Bob, but they can now double down. Beat is forced out. Sky on the high ground is in big trouble now. Gets hunted down. Beat back from Kelix's late. And
yeah,
they're going to get
late
the flip
beat,
off
but
this.
second beat we're getting the flip, so not too bad.
They'll win this fight as well, actually. They did catch everyone there. I know, it looked pretty good, actually. To be fair, in this like high ground place where like Sky and Kai keep playing is actually really annoying for the Gladiators comp to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, if Tread can like never really meaningfully get up there to catch Sky out, then I mean it's definitely an awkward spot. I thought that the Pharah was really good. I'm really surprised that he's gone off the Pharah. I feel like the second Naga goes over to Tracer now, it's just going to be a fucking walk in the park for ENCE, to be honest, because it seemed like 80% of the pressure was just the Pharah spam over and over again. So I would wager the fact that Naga going over to Tracer just means Kevin's going to start putting it in his ass, and there's going to be like no pressure at all. Like again, Sky, you know, maybe he's faking a little bit of risk, but you know, Kelix is pretty peely. I think this will be okay. I think this Tracer is just a nothing burger pick. It's like concession of defeat.
It's so easy for Kelix to mark, and it's now like he can't do anything versus the Pharah, but now he can just keep an eye on Naga the entire time, keeping him in his back pocket. And ENCE are just like they're literally just gonna wait until Nano and then just go with a Nano Diva again, most likely.
They like don't even need to do anything basically. They're just gonna Nano Diva. Like if something happens, they'll just bob into it as well. Anti comes out. Is Tread gonna waste his shout? Nah, Tread gets to hold onto his shout at least. But now it's like 4 ults for ENCE. You know, the only thing they don't have is beat. So Sky can just not get shot in the face for like 3 seconds. The pushdown is about to come.
Yeah, he's rotated aggressively actually. Nade just onto main, but it actually opens the door for FD and Naga to take down Sky. So it was in such a good spot for so long. Kev still gets the Pulse Bomb trade, so it's not over yet. Kai has Bob, self-destructs as well. B keeps all of them alive for now, but Kai does get traded. Vessler and Kev are still behind on point, trying to focus through this backline. They catch Yoham. Cage is now forced by Tread, which might just seal it for Gaimin Gladiators, but Vessler's taken a long time to die here, actually.
The counter nano's coming back in main. Oh, no, it's too late. Honestly, I mean, I love pointing the finger at Sky in this situation. I mean, it's just Sky's fault. He went for this like aggressive flanky nade, and that just like created way more risk than was necessary, but it doesn't seem to matter because Kev and Kelix are just totally fine at playing their lives on the point, and then, you know, a Nano Kev is enough to clean up the fight. But yeah, I mean, it's still actually like kind of even. It's like a 3v3 right now, I think. Yeah, or maybe it's not even at all, actually. There's a second big coming in. So Ideal's going for like the high noon of all high noons. Yeah, there's no fucking hope there. But I don't know, like that high ground position is okay, but you know, Sky flanked for an aggressive nade to somewhere where their Tracer can just get on him with like one blink and everyone can look at him really easily. Like he just needs to nade from safety and then play in Africa and shoot out his nano, but I don't know, he just wants to take the risk. He wants to carry the game so badly. Do you have a moan for your chat? Is that something you've ever done?
A moan, as in like...
Yeah, moan.
No, I've never moaned, no.
Has anyone ever expressed interest in hearing that?
No, not openly. Maybe
Okay.
I've had suspicions there's been some secret desires for moans, but I've not indulged them.
I think you'll find that typically when people have these desires, they express them. People are rather shameless.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, Soggy and Alex. I feel that. Hit me up later. Yeah. Okay, so no Anna-Brig action from them. FD got an Alari, so I'm gonna call this one a 2-0 for ENCE. Off spawn here, just from seeing FD God's pick. Let's get a nice POV action of him. See how many headshots we see hit consecutively before he walks in a big straight line and dies.
All right, why swing now? We were actually on the same page. I was already on FD God POV as well, so we're both intrigued. We're both intrigued.
Yeah, no, I mean, show me what you've got, mate. Like, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I know I won't be. Like, come on.
All right, here comes the dive.
There you go.
Shifts back.
No shift backwards into the dynamite. Get eaten by Kevin. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect passage of play there from FD God. Going Caster's curse doesn't exist when you're watching him on a hero that isn't Lucio. It's just Caster's ability to see the future. And Kevin just gets to eat their entire fucking team because they're playing Ana Illari with FD God and Illari. And he's over to Brig, another one of his signature heroes.
Yeah, Kev's just taken over, which is no surprising to anyone who's ever seen Kevs to play Overwatch before. Now we're going to have this, like, look at this nano gap as well. Sky already nearly at 1. That'll probably go onto Vest once again. Treads over onto the Winston. And it looks like Naga and Tread are actually playing quite wide on the right here. So there's maybe a timing for Vestler if Sky gets his nano in time just to go onto backline. Just like long staging a little bit. Nate hits.
I have it on good authority that Nate hits.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin's also fucking tracing that, like, it's chasing their tracer around with absolutely no hope. So, I mean, this is like, if this is a matchup that ENCE wants to fucking, or rather that Gaimin Gladiators wants to take, then they're just going to get absolutely shit stomped. They need to do something different. Like, trying to take a dive mirror here is just delusional.
Yeah, I think to be fair, ultimately, I think actually the Malga comp could have been more effective here. Like, I know, like, this is really seen as quite a slow map, but I think the Malga's, like, stomp timings from, like, across the bridge and stuff aren't really that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mag is definitely worse than dive on this map. At the end of the day, when you're playing dive and like these are your solutions, then I mean, it's just not ideal, is it? I mean, it'd be good if you could play a comp where you could get an elim on the map. And now again, Kevin's setting up for the dive. There's the elim, like I was saying, perfect pick. But Kev's probably going to start eating people in the back now. Not in a way that's weird, but yeah, no, he's
just
up
normal
the ash.
normal eating, yeah.
Yeah, no, normal eating, not in a gay way, basically, but he's eating. Yeah.
And well, this has just been, it's kind of just been the story, right? Like Vess and Kev have just been kind of unanswered at all points in time, right? Most of the times Gladiators have got to Sky, it's really felt like more of a Sky error than anything Gladiators were really forcing.
Yeah, it's like Sky's gotten bored and decided that he just wants to walk into them. Kevin going for the most ambitious pulse of all time, but there is a Bob on point, waiting and ready. Vestola also catches Zodiel, who decides that he'd rather save his ult for next map, because now FD and Zodiel have both gone down without even using their ultimates on the map. And I think at this point we're just going to give Vest the ace, I would hope. No, Kevin's a piece of shit.
Well. And that's it. Nice and easy. Victory beat.
Yeah, no, I heard this match was going to be rubbish, and I mean, fucking thank you for not disappointing on that, you know? I love when my expectations are met. That's amazing.
You asked me what to expect, and I was like, 3-0 probably, and, well, delivering so far.
Yeah, but, you know, with a bit of luck, I can hit the ad roll button, like, over and over and over again, and that can pay for the Uber Eats.
How was it in the end? You got a burger?
Burger and fried chicken. Real fat fuck hours.
Whoa.
Yeah. Not great, man. Not great. Some people would call it an eating disorder, but you know, I call it a reason to stream.
It's a problem that solves itself, you know. You'll burn slightly more calories being awake as well, so you know, if you stay awake long enough, you might actually even work it off.
Yeah, I think if I stay awake long enough, the sleep deprivation will start burning calories really actively. So I can angle for that. I've actually seen a lineup change now. ENCE has put in Chase, so I guess they're going to play Winston on this map.
Yeah.
Are they going to play Winston and a Brig? Is that the move?
Yep, that's what I'm feeling. I mean, maybe I'm sounding like a broken record at this point. It just says Winston and a Brig every time a map is suggested, but I think King's Row's actually kind of just become a dive map for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, King's Row has always been a bit of a dive map, to be honest, unless you're like a bunch of Europeans and RAM is really meta or something. But yeah, I don't know. Like, are we going to see Ana Brig v Ana Brig? Is that what's going to happen here? Or is FD God going to try and flex out on the Illari one more time? Show us what he's worth.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest Illari performance previously, but I don't know. I feel like, in reality, the strength we've seen for both of these players, Yoham and FD God, have always been Kiri Lucio, and that's kind of the majority of what they played from this team, and it's where they've had the most success. I
guess playing into that strength, that's why they're starting on Ana Brig now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. And it's like this, you've seen this all the time, right? What happens sometimes in any region or in Overwatch League is if all the good teams play a comp, the meta has been set now for the region, right? And everyone feels the need of like, well, we can't beat them, so we have to join them.
Well, I mean, just looking at this, I mean, it feels like a pretty reasonable comp, to be honest. I mean, it's King's Row first point. Ana Brig's completely fucking broken. There's like no better support lineup for it. But I don't know. It's actually like a really average ass Lucio map, I'd say. So it makes sense for FD God to not be on Lucio here. It just never makes sense for FD God to not be on Lucio. That's the kind of core issue. Kev goes for a shot, misses it, gets absolutely nothing. I don't know if Kellex is on the Brig, actually. I feel like he pretty rarely plays that. He's more of a DJ guy. I wouldn't be too concerned about it, though. Maybe we should get our eyes on Chase, you know, given he's like the generational tank that ruined yesterday's broadcast.
Well, yeah, but Winston... Oh, Sky's going to die
Sky's
immediately.
Dead again. Just
Chase
loves face checking.
Yeah, Chase is going to force a defensive nade out, but nothing more, and probably will not be getting out of this one either. And obviously, because Sky dies, none of that damage is healed up, so there's no nano charge, and it's maybe going to be a slow-cooked attack here from ENCE.
Yeah, it's similarly ambitious from Chase to try and like go inside the hallway and get like as much poke as he possibly could when his Ana was already dead, because you know he's just not going to get heals on the way out. He's just going to die jumping back. But that's okay, because you know you have S-Team Peps, so there'll be many openings.
Yeah, same jump again from Chase, top right, takes a little bit of space. Tread's going to bubble defensively, bubbles will be traded. And then it'll be Chase's turn in not too long to go again. Maybe now they can... Actually, they use the nade defensively, so no nade for a second. Chase is just going to try and force point here. And they've kind of sort of just been bullied back a little bit here, Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Like, Zodiel dropping the point, getting the wider angle, that's totally fine. But then he's coach gunned himself further onto the low ground. It seems to have not punished him at all because Chase backed so much, didn't try to block the back line any further. But now Zodiel's back up on the high ground, which is a good spot. Big fight happening inside, though, and Tread is just jumping inside, getting slept naded, bashed around by the Brig. So not looking too good for Gaimin Gladiators now. Just like a big overcommitment on that inside fight. You know, they really didn't need to do that at all. Should have just kept posturing for main side. But, you know, it looks like maybe it was a backline push from the side of ENCE. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it looks like they did try and rotate aggressively, but it did feel maybe a little bit like Tread trying to do too much, right? I think especially when you're on like the Ashe Farah version, if you can kind of just hold your space and keep your DPS shooting, you can probably control point from there. And now FD God's going to bash in. A bit of a miscommunication, I think, on if we're going or we're not going. FD was going. No one else was.
It seems there was a bit of like, maybe a miscommunication between his brain and his hand, something like that. But you know, I'm not sure beyond that.
A few neurons wired wrong.
Yeah, exactly right. He thought he was on Lucio for a second there, and now it's just like the ultimate stagger game, you know? Maybe we can get a showcase of what wave respawn is like for Yoham as he gets to respawn right with Zodiel, so his stagger doesn't even matter.
Nice wave respawn.
Yeah, I mean, that's the jury's still out on whether that's a good feature or not. I haven't watched it enough yet to figure out how it works. I'd probably get a better feeling for it if I played the game, but God knows that's not going to happen.
I'm just going to wait and sort of, you know, just wait for the knowledge to just show itself to me, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, there are cathedrals everywhere for those guys to see, and you know, you'll figure it out eventually. He's playing in a really aggressive position, probably saying how he wants to receive a nano boost or something like that. Looks like he's happy to actually just conk back towards the point. They're going to play a little more defensively. Chase dicking around on the high ground, getting all of his stuff forced out. Nano has gone out onto Kevin, and he's just in the back line. Nano Barrage gets... Could this be the first ever Nano Barrage to get 0 kills? You know, there's something with Kev certain ultimates is the thing. He's just like... he's always... so unbelievable in the neutral. So fucking unbelievable in the neutral. And then you give him an ultimate, you give him a nano with that ultimate, and it just gets even worse and worse. I don't know how he's managed it. Like a nano barrage, and he was on top of the backline, but somehow he manages to get 0.
I'm actually going to blame Ukraine for this, much like a lot of countries have tried to do recently. But I'm going to blame Ukraine, because Chase actually primaled them at the same time, because his primal was forced. So I think Chase inadvertently actually saved the Gladiators backline from that one. Meanwhile, nobody was saving the ENCE from the other barrage.
And this is where 1% of the US budget is going, you know? That's the foreign aid that we're putting money into right now. For Chase Torch to do that, it was unbelievable. And then again, you know, wonderful bob there from Zodiel, just fucking uppercuts Chase one more time, makes it our problem once again. Guy's been nursing this bob for a while now. Kai and Keller have both had these ultimates for like 3 fights now, so this is a little bit slow.
Yeah, Tread's looking through the left. FT's just died before the fight starts. Tread's going to jump in, go for it, but now the counter bob, the counter jump by Chase. Primal's going to be used. Dead? It was just like a nothing dive, right? Just dive in main, nothing happens. And it kind of forces Tread's hand to try and get something done with this Primal. He can't. If he can preserve his life, that'll probably just be enough. Bubbles the gang out, and there's a recontest in this, but no immediate ults to do anything with here, Gladiators.
Yeah, no, I clocked off for a second. Chat was harassing me for breathing, so they kind of missed the boat on that analysis.
It's one of my least favourite things that you do, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I mean, people regularly tell me to stop it, so it makes sense. I don't know why I'm watching Keller POV when Kevin is just in the backline getting a magic pick at the start of every single fight. Sky actually gets traded. Kevin manages to miss his ultimate again. That's part of the course. Chase fucking up yet another primal, you know, free Ukraine and all that.
Yoham is deep.
So this is a one-for-one trade, but Chase does actually get FD got at the end of it all, so maybe it's not going to work out for them. Now Kevin and Chase are kind of just blocking backline forever. There's no heals coming through to the front, but Chase might actually get cleaned up by Tread, who was in a similar position on his side. Also, we've got Naga hiding behind, close to a barrage, hits a direct onto Kai, and ENCE just going to have to run back on this one.
Yeah, a few times now we've just seen Chase get caught either going in or going out and just really setting his team back. So they have the nano coming back, but pushing into a rally barrage. Probably plenty of tools for the Gladiators to hold this one. And all of a sudden, minute left. Actually, really holdable here for the Gladiators. I think their fight to lose.
Yeah, no, this corner has been like extremely difficult for ENCE. Every time it looks like it's okay, there's just another backline trade coming through again and again. Sky having his, you know, signature difficulty surviving when Chase isn't doing it for himself. But again, a flank just comes through, like, you know, all Naga has to do is walk through the boiler room, and he's got like a perfect setup for this barrage. Ults have also been invested on the side of ENCE. Like, the nano came out onto Chase there. Chase is still dying right now. I think Kevin is behind as well. Kevin isn't just behind. Kevin is getting trade kills.
He has a pulse
so
as
maybe
well.
this kill on the nano will be impactful. I mean, he's still playing his life just fine. He's gone for it. He's got nothing for it. It was a bit optimistic. But now the touch is really scuffed. No trace at a touch. Kelix is on Lucio. I mean, Chase is probably going to have to... Nobody's going to touch.
Kelix boots. Yeah, he doesn't make it.
Up.
And all of a sudden, what looked like... I mean, it started so bad for the Gladiators, right? I feel like we were going to be in for a healthy time bank. Then on second, Chase gets caught maybe twice. They miss their big combo with because the primal saves rather than kills with the barrage.
Yeah.
No barrage value. I mean just no ult value at all
for that, you know?
ENCE.
All life has equal value, you know? Fucking Chase putting up the hard hands and being like, no, let's stop this mindless violence. Let me push these people out of the line of fire, you know?
There's enough world for all of us. There's enough world for all of us.
Yeah, coexistence, and then he fucking pushes FD God onto Omega. Like, it's unreal.
Even the French should live.
All right, let's not get too extreme. It's not going to work out for them. Now Kevin and Chase kind
So, all of a sudden, this has just shifted massively, right? We talked about how it was probably going to be, if we were going to go a dive route, then it would favour ENCE, and now, all of a sudden, they've got a pretty big task on their hands to try and hold this one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this, like, Kellex Brig comp maybe isn't the strongest thing in the world, and Chase has done absolutely nothing impressive throughout this entire map, to be honest. We've seen some, like, okay dives with Kevster, you know, where it's like, Kevster will wind up in the kill feed as the person that did all the work, and Chase was there too. But to be honest, if that's all that's ever happening and the backline keeps getting traded still, maybe this isn't the matchup for them. Maybe they should stick to the Lucio comps. Because then, at least it's only Sky dying, you know? And then Kellex stays alive and eventually clutches it out. But Kellex doesn't clutch it out on Brig in the same way. Chase is a Russian spy? No, Chase is just Ukrainian.
I feel like they've had, like, no eyes on Naga. Like, they've never had eyes on the Sky, and Naga's just been able to get in free on all these engages when, in theory,
he's
should be at least
literally walking on the flank for his barrage.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Chase has been like, I think he had his jump fucked or something here. I think he's just dead. I don't know what. Does Illari shift boop?
Yeah. A bit of knockback.
Did FD like somehow? Did FD do some sort of like Illari booping tech to fuck up Chase's jump there? Because Chase fucked up his jump out and has just gotten magic picked from the start.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Chase really is a Russian spy.
Maybe it was like a boot back in essentially.
Yeah, it's probably just Naga's boop, to be honest. I don't know why I'm thinking it was in Illari. That's a fucking absolutely brain dead thing. Giving Illari has to use their shift to even maybe get up there. But yeah, first two ticks immediately conceded. Now Chase has to do a nothing burger jump onto the point. Nice anti from Sky means Tread has to back jump though, so they actually do get to take pretty much all the space
Naga's
that they can want.
Actually. He's so
dead. Naga's dead, from the looks of it. Naga's in their spawn, 1 health. Naga has gotten out, and FD God has just hard peaked Kai for like 6 body shots in a row. So unbelievable retake from ENCE. Like, and the only person that winds up alive is Naga.
He's gonna die late now. Wait, does he get the wave?
Truly, what's even the point of FD God playing Illari? Like, he's got 36% of his ult in almost 2 minutes. Like, what is he doing? He's just absolutely no impact whatsoever. It's like, who cares whether or not the hero is meta on the map, on the point? Like, if that's what you're going to do on it, like, just go fucking Lucio, dude. You can't tell me that he wouldn't be doing more on Lucio. You can't tell me.
Nano in from Chase now. He's hot on the tail. He doesn't actually gonna have. He gets naded, so he can't chase anymore. And the Nano actually goes for nothing. Eyes on FD God though. Wants to keep committing in. Forces them all back into Kevster's path. Does Kev get the finish? Kev gets the finish. You'll never guess who died as well.
Kev does get finished off though, so you know the Tread, you know, signature finisher manages to take him down. FD goes down, but now this Nano push is extremely strong, hitting the 3-2-1 fucking Gazan Nano Farah trick, and then suddenly Kai's just gone to God. Chase trades out onto Tread, and Naga is actually stuck really deep, so he gets traded out. His name being Nico is such a throw, you know, like, and now I can't read his name as Naga when it's just too much.
They've actually managed to stabilize for all of this. Bobs were traded, they deal with it. Naga now coming back with Barrage. This was their big opener on the defense, but Kai's going to slow him down one more time. Oh wait, no, Naga's still going. He's on Viana. Viana's gone. Kai lives. Oh, that's not enough.
Oh, FD God throwing out a captive son from downtown just to accomplish what looks like absolutely nothing before dying, so you've got to respect it sometimes. You know, his commitment to the bit is unparalleled. And then it does look like he's thinking about swapping hero, and he does go over to the brig. FD2 Boopy, yeah, that's a good joke. Good joke.
Oh wait, Kellex is deep. Whoa! He rallies to save himself, dies to the dynamite. He was just too close. They were waiting for weak respawns and they just catch Kellex too close.
These fucking Lucio one tricks are actually unbelievable. Like, they're such liabilities off that one hero. It's crazy. Kellex is actually coming back on Lucio, so there's a clutch potential there. But Chase can't receive any healing. He jumps out. He has been cut off by Tread, though, from the looks of it. Tread, doing his own Cracker Winston stuff, just immediately fucks up his primal, gets slept in the backline. But it does look like he's going to kill Sky. And, you know, it took them 4 minutes, but Gaimin Gladiator are going to be able to clean up the first point.
Yeah, it wasn't really a textbook first point by any means, but they get it over the line just about. Kellex, I don't know if he's going to stay in this Lucio now, or if he's just, no, he's still swapping back. So we're back in the full Anabrig backline mirror. Naga staying on the Farah.
We've got our Titans of Brig once again playing their signature heroes. They're definitely not a take by the book, you know. Maybe it was like a book in the Library of Alexandria or something, and FD God was reading the original copy in the current day. But it's just... It's not the greatest look when you see them on this matchup. Oh, where's Johan?
Oh, he's found.
Oh, there's Johan.
He was hiding on the Mega.
So,
yeah, Kevster found him.
that was a really heads-up hiding play there. FD God throwing his flail out at a wall just for signature, you know, just for good measure, basically. Making sure that all's okay. And now this retake is going to be so awkward, you know. Tight choke, massive ult disadvantage. They just need to play slow, farm up the rally, farm up the nano. You know, probably get a barrage going by the time they're there as well. I reckon the nano Farah is pretty sound though, you know. It's always a combination that's really difficult to deal with. If they get the nano barrage going, that could break open the hole. We'll see what they can manage with it.
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
just
giving space on the side of ENCE too.
Oh wait, jump in now from Chase. He's going to get naded. Pulse bomb is good. Oh, it's really good.
Both supports have evaporated. Yeah, that's two ults. That's two ults for nothing there. So I guess that's worthy of consideration. You know, it's not the best fight in the world, just because now the ults are going to swing really hard in the favor of Peps. And like, you know, if Peps can win 2 fights in a row here, I mean, that's the whole map. You know, so there's going to be nothing online for a while for ENCE other than this nano bob.
Yeah, they have to be careful as well, because if they lose this fight, they have to kind of die here, right? They have to be really careful how much they let the cart move. Like, they can probably let it get to this corner, but not too much further, or their recontest is going to be really spooky. So you need to try and get some ults out here, and it's on to Naga first. He has that barrage, and oh, 2 and done.
That's a really, really good combo, yeah. Like, just straight away nano barrage into the back line, you know. And I mean, they've traded as well, because Sky using the nano on Kai and not getting any value for it. Now this recontest is going to be really dicey, you know. Like, you're going to have Bob v Bob on the cart, so, you know, I'm not sure Zodiel's going to be able to catch Kai's Bob, but one way or another, you know, the Bobs are probably not going to be the most dangerous thing in the world. Mid-fight, we're going to see Kellex's rally come through, same for Kevin's Pulse, but we're also going to see Tread, you know, for the Tread heads in the chat, we're probably going to see a Primal come out. So, honestly, like, not a bad position for Peps. Actually, a winnable situation, as long as they don't just completely give it away. And it looks like they are giving it away.
So
for some reason, instead of standing in main and shooting their guns, they're just hiding in corners. Like, I really don't understand what they think they're doing there, where it's like they have the position, they have the space, and Zodiel is hiding with a Bob at the back of the map. Like, he's not even hiding somewhere aggressively where he can get an uppercut. He's just hiding somewhere where he can easily get split. So Zodiel's just fucking thrown the game, basically. Because instead of deciding, let's shoot the enemy as they walk up and capitalize on the advantage that we have, they'll think, oh, let's imagine a disadvantage that doesn't actually exist. Let the enemy retake for free and then lose that way. I mean, Christopher would be sobbing right now.
Shred's gonna have to primal.
Catches the pulse with his face.
It's not quite over
he's
yet.
caught one. Yeah, Johan's coming back on the Ana. He's about to get jumped by the Winston. He doesn't even try to stop Chase, though. So now it's a 2v3? Yeah. Zodiel's gotten very close on that Ashe, but Kevster is alive on Tracer, so good luck to you.
Yeah, Tread can't get one more touch, and they lose by inches. I mean, you're exactly right. Like, when I was looking at them, and I was like, okay, they get a chance. What you want to do here, you want to make this recontest absolute hell for ENCE, right? Let's hold forward. Even Bob early, right? Bob early, make their recontest really, like, force them to commit earlier than they want to and all of this. But they hide so far back. Now, by the time they get to, like, where their trap is, right, where Zodiel's hiding, the payload's already moved past it. They've, like, the trap's behind where any fight is actually going to take place. So there's no surprise because they're all hiding, I don't know, like some stupid kid playing hide and seek for the first time, just hiding behind the sofa, clearly on show.
I mean, it was just so brain dead. It's like they had ult advantage, they had the position, and they decided, let's play like we don't have ult advantage and hide and just give the position for free. It was so fucking stupid. All Zeta had to do was just peek man and shoot. All the Ana had to do was play up and fucking throw a nade. And fucking,
just Bob early, yeah.
Tread had to just be up on the high ground, dropping into the backline when this happens, and then everything would be okay. And instead, they gave them all the space. It's unbelievable.
It should have, because it really should have been a nightmare retake. It should have been a nightmare retake for ENCE, right? You have to retake that point. You all have to come from main. You're going to get bobbed earlier. Winston's going to drop on you. You have to try and not get naded, and you have to factor in. You have to touch somehow through all of this, right? Instead. You just get to walk there. You just get to walk there for free, and actually you get to set up for your dive before anything happens. Yeah,
look, at the end of the day, you just can't put enough stock in Gaimin Gladiators to be able to throw in every situation imaginable. Throw it at EWC, you know? It's like, they had one very real chance where it was like, SSG had visibly been struggling versus the D.Va comp, and Gaimin Gladiator were at the event as hard one-tricks of the D.Va comp, you know? It's like, D.Va, Lucia Kiri, Tracer Echo is like the one thing that they were just like one-tricking all throughout the tournament and dominating on, or like looking as good as they could on. And then SSG was struggling against that. So when they go into a match versus SSG, they just fucking don't play the one thing that they're good at. And now, you know, here you put a very clear advantage in front of them. You say you've got the ults, you've got the position, and they say, let's take away all of that, dude. Let's win this so honestly that people won't even believe it happened. And then it doesn't occur.
Well, the thing is as well, they actually do all the hard work, right? Like, on the defense, they punish Chase multiple times. They get loads of good engages from Naga. Maybe you can, like, put some of the blame on ENCE's backline there as well. But, like, they did the hard bit, right? You hold Nair on King's Row. You take it out at the start of the map every single day.
Yeah, I mean, they won a map with FD God off Lucio. You know? They capped a point where FD God tried to pick Alari for, like, a minute and a half and then shot his ult at nothing. Like, they've done the hardest of work, and they're still here struggling.
Well, and yeah, like, the thing is as well, like... You don't get these, if you get those chances and you miss them against most teams, you're just going to lose, it's going to cost you the series. And I feel like, especially if you're already going into the series as like underdogs against ENCE, you can't leave these ones on the table.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, ENCE probably the favourites going into this, right? Like, there's nobody that was pred in Gaimin Gladiator from the start. Like I said, can you twerk? Not for you.
All right, this was the map we saw them play the Zen Ana D.Va into the Winston dive here. So Vessler is in though, so we expect something probably slightly different from ENCE here rather than the Winston. And
yes, Lucia Ana D.Va stuff like the first map.
Yeah, I think so.
Venture? I don't think I've ever seen Kev play Venture.
I've not seen him play Venture.
I haven't watched him play
Tracer. This map, surely just Tracer, I'd imagine.
Isn't Kai like a refuser? Like he refuses to play Venture or something? He doesn't really play it?
Yeah, I asked him how he was getting on with it, and he said, I'm not playing that hero, bro. So, obviously they've got...
Very Kai answer.
Obviously they've got Wimone now, right? So if they ever need that, and alright.
Just get on FD God's POV, dude. Like,
I'm literally, honestly, mate, I'm literally on it already.
Like they're just walking out of spawn on FD God's Zen, dude. Like, what is going on?
Well,
like,
they're also playing super
wide
wide.
Perception.
Which is really weird, right? Because they did this against SSG, and it worked for a little bit, but it felt super risky to have your Ana Zen play so split into a comp that maybe has like a Lucio and a Tracer and a D.Va all into it.
I mean, the reality of this comp is that, you know, like you kind of need to, you know, like if you don't have continuity between your Ana and your Zen sightline, then nothing will work because the Zen will just die to nothing. But if you don't play wide, if you don't take aggressive angles, you're not going to win. Like the whole value of Ana Zen is that your Zen needs to take massive risk all the time and exist on the edge of that risk. And I mean, you know, FD God, to his credit, he's actually poking the fuck out of Kai. But I have zero belief in this. Zero. And look at that. Zodiel's dead, and, you know, everyone else will be soon to follow. They've lost 23 meters before the fight has even fucking started, really. And now they're going to lose checkpoint in one fight, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Kevster is now here. Dynamite comes through, shots come in, and they just crush the back line. It's like this catch-22, right?
Sky's so good at getting traded. Sky's so good at getting traded, dude. It's fucked.
But like, if the Ana and Zen play 2 split, they're too easy a dive target, right? So they all play grouped up, the Ana, Zen, and the Widow. But then all of a sudden, if you're on the side of ENCE and you say, don't get headshot or discord or peeked by any of these people, well, they're all in the same place, so it's relatively easy to play in these positions, you know, and just have Vest start moving the robot away, Kev gets into a nice big flank. Then we just have that dive timing and
yeah,
easy so
I mean,
far.
look, with a comp like this, you know, the general solution is always like a million times easier said than done, you know? It's like, oh yeah, just be wide enough that you have a good angle, but don't be so wide that you're dead. And sometimes, like with the way that the meta's developed, I mean, I think Anazen sucks nowadays, so... And Nano FD God, though, that could be the difference maker. FD God charging inside to not do very much from the looks of it. He's like, he keeps imagining an enemy behind him that doesn't exist. He keeps turning around for it, and there's just nothing there.
Vessel's going to double down now onto his backline as we get a pause.
Yeah.
Shred's left the game.
Shredder's left the game. I respect that. All right, I got some people in chat that need addressing. Hang on.
Get on that. So we'll wait for Shred to rejoin. We'll unpause in the situation. Obviously, it looks like Vest is about to go on the backline, but Galax is there to help soon. I don't know where Kev is in all of this. Maybe Kev's the missing ingredient. If Kev can go with Vest right now, this backline really dies. So it's all a little bit on where Kev's positioning is. Naga is around to try and trade it, but I think that's kind of the best case scenario for Gaimin Gladiators here. Maybe FD God, 5% away from Transcendence, gets at Transcendence, saves everybody, and they win the fight. But even if they get that, it's going to feel like not the highest value Transcendence either. So maybe just not great options from this position. Obviously, we're in the FACEIT lobby as well, so this 1 minute timer is kind of just ticking. Tread's going to come back now, and we'll just have to... There's no manual on pause, so we're just gonna wait. Literally 55 seconds. Obviously, the teams can discuss what their next move is. We'll see which one they want to lean into. But ultimately, it hurts really a lot to use for Transcendence here, because then that's, if you look at the ult charge on the side, it's nothing, right, if they use for Transcendence here. So even if they use for Transcendence, they live in this fight, they win, they then have to push into a Bob, beat, lots of really difficult ults. So Gaimin Gladiators in a hole in terms of distance, and they're in a hole in terms of the ults, and they're in a hole in terms of maybe this very current fight we're about to see unfold in 16 seconds. So lots of... Yeah, Vestler's actually called it for him. He says, don't trans, reset. I think Vestler's right, actually. So the players discussing with each other here what the best next move is, and I think they've honestly probably made the right decision. Defensive nade comes out, and actually, Vest doesn't get demexed somehow, some way. Sliver of HP. And they actually stabilize. Yeah, it looked like Vest was actually encroaching a little bit more on them than he was there. But they're going to get the stabilize. We'll get a fight around this cap. Now a Bob to kick it off here onto the flank here. Bullying them back. They catch Yoham in the cross. Gaimin Gladiators core rotating, and now they have to give a load of space. And they have the Transcendence if they want to fight, but they concede the cap. And really continually on the back foot here. They have Transcendence against beat now, but it's not going to be... They can't really do anything. They can just live the engage if they want, but no real onus for ENCE to do anything aggressive. They can take their time now. Oh! FD God crosses to the bus stop. Oh!
Yeah, look, they're just giving more and more ground, you know? FD God is going to slowly press S over and over again until eventually he winds up with his back to the spawn door. It's just deeply troubling. Do you reckon there's going to be a beat rush, or they're just going to try and beat when the trend comes out? Like,
oh, wait,
FD God's way too good at Zen. We've been saying this for the longest time. Absolutely no chance for poor Kai when he's got one of the best projectile players in the world on the enemy team. Now Vest gets his bomb forced inside. The sleep actually gets woken, but nobody can stop FD God from taking over the lobby. Fortunately, Kevin is good for a trade on Zodiel. The hit scan players, they're always getting caught out at the 11th hour.
And this is actually perfect as well, because we were talking a little bit like in the pause, like actually the ult economy looks really bad for them here, but because they've just won these fights off FD God's individual impact, they've actually just in a really fine ult situation all of a sudden. FD God going to keep taking space. Naga's going to hit a pulse bomb. FD God, defensive nano on him as well. He demets. And this is all going all right.
FD God, he's making me eat my words here, you know? They're about to get their first meter. Well, they've got 2 of them, actually. But yeah, FD God actually doing a pretty reasonable job of maintaining his position and holding mouse 1 as the robots slowly walk into him over and over again.
Actually all works out. Yeah, Naga hits for pulse. Sky always seems to find a way to be on the end of that pulse bomb. And now they still have Transcendence, they have Bob, but now they're going to be in a cap fight. And they can maybe force a few bad ults here, but a lot of things to be aggressive with right now, ENCE.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be like a full-blown checkpoint fight or not. There's still quite a lot of ground to cover. I think they're probably going to come and contest rather soon. Like, FD God's playing it really close here, and it's like he can just get like Nano Boost Diva pushed right now, and then he'll probably eat shit. So I don't think that it's that dire yet. FD got under a lot of pressure right now, but you can see straight away Tread is just shifting backwards to Peel. Yoham already 70% on another Nano though. Here comes the Nano Diva. That trades out for the Trank, but now I'd imagine that if you keep your eye on Kellex, they're going to be looking for some sort of beat rush thing. Now that the Trank has been forced out, the next condition is probably pull them in a little bit and beat rush in. But Johan does have another nano boost, so you know a beat rush probably won't look too good for the side events anymore. Maybe we'll see FD God get counter nanoed for the millionth time.
There we go. Bob's actually coming in from the
comes out from Zodial.
Kellex just about gets the beat off, but he dies for it. They're going to try and double down now, but defensive nano is still available, which means FD God becomes the server admin again, and we've seen this one before, I guess. He's dropping for it. He's kicked Kellex in the back. Now he's going to hit the dink. Oh, gets traded, and actually, they're going to win the dogfight there.
Yeah,
Drops
no,
really
it looked like there was
it's risky, isn't it, when you're on Ana's end? So
there was a sign of life with the drop, you know, like oh maybe he's going to accomplish something, maybe he's going to take over the world, but you know the reality of the situation was more that he's just going to drop and immediately feed because his Ana can't see him anymore. Yeah, maybe trade himself out 1-for-1 in a situation where you need to stay alive. Yeah, 60% of another Trank though, so you know that's something, I suppose. It's not going to win him the map, but it's something.
Yeah, I think the problem is you sort of like Ana Zen is always a comp that benefits from like, can we stand in some kind of broken hold, some broken position, and right now they're doing that, but Naga's going to get caught, and now we're just on the back foot. Ted's going to get poked out, conceding more meters here, and this distance is getting pretty hard to keep a track on as this Bob comes into spawn, so late deaths on the cards here. There's one.
Yeah, it's looking like, you know, roughly every 10 to 15 seconds, Kai is just going to get an opening pick for the remainder of the map, so we can just see a seamless transition towards the spawn door. Not looking great anymore. Not looking great.
Well, a long way back on a comp that has a very fragile backline, which means it's really hard not to trade and to win consecutive fights if you're Ana Zen. So we're just in complete control here, and it looks like they're holding close for another nano around the corner onto him. There we go. Kai gets the opening pick, the pulse bomb lands, all the correct thing. The Transcendence comes out, only to save FD God and Tread, not the other 3 members. Like, FD God's going to die late.
You say the pulse bomb lands. The pulse landed on FD, and then FD tranked and jumped into Johan's head. So that's yes. So FD, you know, he thought he was on his signature hero. Thought that he could outrun the pulse bomb or something. Decided to run it into his teammate instead. Pulse bomb goes on to absolutely nothing for the side of Naga. Yoham does have the nano boost. He puts that on Dread. Takes down Kellex. Zodial also gets Kevin. So you know maybe there's a bit more fight in this map. Not meaningful fight, but you know suffering prolonged at least.
We'll literally get another couple of minutes. So Zodial's going to keep the Widow as well. So Sky. Okay. Not out. Yeah, no. Wait, Vess is bombed in. Doesn't
absolute client bomb from Vess. Not sure what that was accomplishing. Kellex goes down again though. Kellex just getting eaten up. Unfortunately, FD God has been consumed in the process. The gods demanded a sacrifice, and there he goes too. And now Yoham is just being chased by Vess. He might kill him in Baby Diva form.
Stop this baby. And this is the problem though, isn't it? Like Gaimin Gladiators now, they have to win, what are we talking, like 3-4 fights in a row, not trading, 1 minute 40 on the clock. It's a mighty tall ask and a mighty hard call
beyond
to do
a tall order, you know.
Yeah.
The Widowmaker and the Zen, this is the let's get traded comp, I would say. So things are not looking terribly good for poor old Team Peps here, but you know, that's fine by me. I'm a big fuck Team Peps believer, remember? Ever since that guy gave me money yesterday with the name fuck Team Peps, I've been a real Team Peps hater, as if I wasn't before.
Oh, wait. Zodiac had a shot at Sky, misses though. They now know where Zodiac is, so they're a little bit trapped here, but they can't really push him into Zodiac's sightline. So again, ENCE happy just to play the clock here. No need to do anything
To
crazy.
be honest, I think FD is just going to die this time. Like, there's no support ult on the side of Peps right now, and there's a Nano Diva on the side of Old Mate Sky. So I think if they just nano quickly, then FD can just be consumed right this second before the counter comes out. And there it is. There it is. So now everyone is dead because the Nano boost plays really easy. So, you know, no counter ult, and they're just back to the wall.
Yeah, 30 seconds now, beat in play. They're going to have Transcendence, they'll have a defensive Nano, so they have the tools to maybe win this next fight. It's just for the 3 fights not following that might be a little bit trickier. So Zodiac's going to peek right-hand side early again. They know he's there, though. Another big one from Vess. Oh, he gets FD God! 99% on Transcendence! Veslo was just warming up the old throwing arm now, and he's held that one in for a home run. Now the beat in, and this is surely going to be it. This is surely it. Body blocking spawn as well. No escape for Yoham, and ENCE are going to cruise to this 3-0.
It's honestly crazy, like how fucking lazy this whole game has been. It's like I've been like really lazily spectating it, you know, like I'll just bang the fucking camera on someone at the start of the fight and not really look too closely. And it's like Kai's just completely AFK for that entire final fight. Like Kai shot his gun on like the 5th person to die in that fight. Absolutely nothing happened, but all of Peps managed to fold 4v5. Like, how's that even possible?
I don't know. I know, because in theory as well, the nice thing about Ana Zen, well, you have all that fragility. If you actually just keep them alive, you have so much map control in theory, right? Between the Ana Pocket, the nades, the Discord. You should be able to just sort of try and lock down a lot of the map and win by controlling everything. But it didn't really feel like they actually had control. Like, Kevin felt relatively free. Felt like every time Vess went in, he was actually able to go in pretty much full HB, you know? Not too much pressure.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you're playing like Widow on a Zen on a map like that and you're versus a Tracer like Kevin, if you don't have like absolutely elite players in all of those roles, somebody's just going to die every single fight, you know? Like there's so many different characters that are like massive liabilities and so reliant on like really, really high level performance. Like just insane mechanics, insane positioning all the time. Or you just fold. And when you're versus a Tracer like Kevin, like you're just in the fold camp straight away. You're just taking like such unbelievable risk off spawn. What's the next match again?
Ex-Oblivion against SSG.
Oh, I know those SSG guys. It's Ange versus Funny Astro, dude. Like, I'll get an Ange cam going, you know? Yeah, no, this is going to be a client. My money's on Ange, dude. Ange is a fucking warlord.
I'm checking out the scoreboards, and it feels like it doesn't tell you anything that would shock you. Kev really did a lot of the killing, not a lot of the dying. Meanwhile, yeah, FD, Yoham, really towards the top end on most of them. Zodiac getting caught a lot as well. And, well, easy as you like, really.
Yeah. Poor FD. Poor FD. I don't know. I feel like he's like being put in positions that he just doesn't deserve to be put in, you know? It's like the guy's playing Illari Zen for half of this map, like half of this whole match. Like, what's that about? How does that occur? Somehow Kellex manages to play Lucio in like 90% of these situations, but fucking poor little FD god plays Illari and Zen.
Well, we've seen versions of these comps. Like, people are still playing Kiri Lucio, and while it maybe feels like maybe it's like a little bit nerfed in the current patch, and maybe it's going out a little bit to Ana Brig. But like this Lucio Ana version surely has to be on the cards for him. Like it is, they've literally got the heroes, right?
Yeah, I mean, like if they haven't got the Lucio, then I don't know what they do have, you know?
Well, I think actually, like, I don't know, like FD on Lucio this year, I think has actually looked pretty reasonable. One of his most reasonable years, really, so far. But then all this, like, I mean, it's the same.
One of his most reasonable years so far. Is that because he stopped? Is that because he stopped being versed on Watch League Pros and he started being versed European contenders instead? Like,
no, that doesn't seem like it holds any relevance at all, Max. So I don't know why you brought that up.
Yeah, it's one of his most reasonable years since he went to Overwatch League. Like,
but it just feels like I don't know. Like if you're in Gaimin Gladiators position, right? Your goal has to be, you know, ENCE and SSG may be uncatchable in this circuit point race, but got to look at, like, can you do better than Twisted Minds? Can you finish higher than Virtus Pro, you know? Because they do have the circuit point lead. All they have to do is beat those teams. And it just feels like where we've seen teams have success at the Esports World Cup and recent tournaments is finding a version of the meta that suits them. Even if it's not necessarily like the meta comp or the optimal comp.
You know, maybe putting FD God on Zen and Ilari is the version that suits them, you know? Maybe we have a completely incorrect read on what FD God's strengths are. Maybe it's not Lucio and Lucio only, and actually it's him on every flex support hero in the world, you know? He's trying to be Galar. Or Gala. I don't know how to say his name.
I say Gala. Galar sounds like
I prefer Galar because I think it's like I think it's like an insult or something, you know? I think there's an insult. It's like at least an Australian English insult. Like you're a galah, you know.
What's
So yeah, I think it might be like a bird or something. I don't know. Either way, he's galah to me.
You calling him some kind of bird? Fuck.
No, it could be. You know, so the jury's still out.
All right. Normally, what I do at the end of these is I give a player of a match. You got any hot nods?
A player of the match, FD God for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not basing it on like performance. I'll base it on like, you know, entertainment.
The value, like the value return for your time. You feel like you've got actually,
exactly. Value return on my time. Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably neck and neck between him and Kev, I reckon. Really. It felt like...
Yeah, I mean, Kev provided value in the kill feed. FD God provided value for the stream. Like,
you know what it felt like? It felt like jogging pace from ENCE, you know? Like, it just felt like they just had to sort of trot that one in, you know? There was no exacerbation, like no difficulty.
Confidently better.
Yeah, just walked it in.
Did something change with the roster of the other guys? With the roster of Peps? Like a support or something?
Well, Crook was originally on the roster. They had both Crook and Yoham, and they cut Crook and promoted Yoham to just be the one and only. Their one and only.
Why'd they do that?
I don't know, it was weird because Yoham came in at the end of stage 2 because Crook wasn't available because he was in Saudi and his internet was dodgy and some stuff like that. So then Yoham played, but then for Esports World Cup, Crook was back. Crook played all of Esports World Cup, and then they cut him for Yoham.
Because I saw Crook swimming in the pool at Esports World Cup, and I thought that's a man who's here to stay. You know what I mean?
You were actually completely mistaken on that account, then.
That's a man that's here to go. So he's getting his money.
But when's he next going to be in a swimming pool in Riyadh?
Can you juggle on Winston?
Can I juggle on Winston?
Yeah, you.
Is this a personal question? Yeah. I mean, not well. I mean, what's like for? Can I do the thing? Yeah. Do I do it every time? No.
You can.
Do I do it? Do I do it half
I physically
the time?
Can't do it. I'm like too palsied or something. Like.
What do you mean? I'm like you know in bowling, right? You know when you're a kid and you go bowling and they put the rails up. I can primal like if we're in a room and there's a wall to help me, you know. So I need like the guiding rails.
That's not really primaling, is it? That's not a juggle. That's a bang them into a wall.
It is juggling. I just need the side rails up to help me with my juggle. Otherwise, it's going to become like a gutter primal.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds rubbish. I don't know. Like to juggle on Winston is fucking difficult, dude. It's like you gotta press all these different inputs and manage your space. And I don't know, dude. If people that have played that hero for like thousands of hours and practiced it constantly in custom games still struggle with it, it's like what chance do I have? You know, I'm 30 years old.
Is there a reason you're trying to learn to primal? What's
Someone
the end goal here?
Someone in the chat asked something about it.
Oh.
They said show the Winston juggle, and I was trying to explain to them that's not going to happen.
Well, do you remember when Molf had to learn Winston and he got it down like pretty quick? You know,
that guy's talented. I'm not Molf, dude. Molf had talent. Molf had serious talent. That guy was like the best ball in Europe on the low. Like, well, except for ball, obviously.
Yeah, well, an inherent advantage for him.
Yeah. What's this next map? SSG versus
X Oblivion. Hold on. I'm gonna end one video and start the next recording here. So if this is it, that was Gaimin Gladiators versus ENCE. You were probably disappointed. Go watch X Oblivion versus SSG coming up next, and you can be disappointed again, but on a different video.